Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our webinar workshop today. Today we're going to be talking about how your company can become the trusted source on Google. In other words, how can you leverage Google AI to get found before they even start clicking on websites or Google business listings or elsewhere? How to win the click before the click. So most of you know me already. I've been doing this for a long time. Been into coding and kind of been a computer geek all my life. I love this stuff. We work only with the home improvement industry. We are industry partners with the major associations in the remodeling space. This is just really what we do day in and day out is just working with remodelers, builders, home improvement specialists, just helping you guys increase your visibility online, helping you increase your lead volume, and ultimately, hopefully, we can help give you some advice on improving your sales process or maybe improving your follow up, things like that. So that's kind of a little bit about who I am, who we are. I won't dwell too much on that. Most of you guys on the webinar today have been following me for a long time now, so we won't beat that dead horse. Let's go ahead and jump in and just talk about why Google AI is really changing the game. It's changing everything about digital marketing, about being found, about what page one looks like. The way homeowners search for contractors is definitely changing. I think we all know that, especially with the impact of AI. Traditional search used to be centered around ranking for keywords, getting those clicks, and then driving users to your website and hoping that they click on your website then. That was kind of the traditional way of doing things. And so, while those things still matter, Google AI is really shifting more of the decision-making process into the search results themselves. Homeowners may now see AI generated summaries or those knowledge panels or the map results, business recommendations, review highlights may jump out, and even service details before they even click through to a contractor's website. They've basically seen everything about that particular company, and they haven't even been to their website yet. So that's how you win the search game before the click. That's what we're emphasizing today. And so, what this means is the goal is no longer just to rank. The bigger goal, in this whole grand scheme of things, is to become the trusted answer that Google feels confident showing, summarizing, or recommending. If a homeowner gets enough confidence from the search results, they may make a decision before visiting several different websites. They may have already decided on you based on all these things that they saw before the click. And so that makes early positioning more important than ever. Your website, your Google business profile, your reviews, all the different service pages that hopefully you have on your website, all your content, all need to clearly communicate what you do, where you work, and why your company is credible and should be top and foremost in their mind for actually wanting to book a consult with you. And so, a strong starting point is to first audit your website and your Google business profile through the eyes of a potential customer. Identify the most common questions your ideal clients ask before reaching out. Then create a simple list of the top 10 questions you need your content to answer. This list becomes the foundation for stronger website pages, better blog topics, really good built out FAQ sections on your website, and then, of course, for local search content as well. And so next, we really want to understand what is Google AI prioritizing. When I say Google AI, their AI is Gemini, right? But this is this is all the AI results. They pull from ChatGPT a lot. They might be pulling from Claude or other sources. So I'm kind of collectively talking about Google AI, but specifically, they're using Gemini, their platform, to push results in search. So really remember that Gemini is owned by Google. It reminds me of YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Is it any coincidence that it's also owned by Google? Probably not. So really keep an eye on Gemini AI and how it views your company, because that's really what's going to stand out the most in those Google search results. And so Google AI, it's not just choosing content randomly when it gives you those previews. It's looking for signals that help it understand whether a business is relevant, credible, and useful for the person that's doing the searching. Relevance matters because your content needs to clearly match the intent before the search. Authority matters because Google wants to surface businesses, showcase those businesses that demonstrate expertise, trustworthiness, and real world credibility. That kind of goes in line with their EAT structure: expertise, experience, trust, and authority, right? We've talked about that a lot from an SEO perspective. And then structure also matters because properly organized content is much easier for AI systems to actually interpret. It doesn't confuse them as much. For contractors, these trust signals can come from several places. Detailed service pages help Google understand what you offer. So again, you got to have service pages for all the different services you offer. Reviews show that real customers have had positive experiences with your company, so that's social proof. And then project examples prove that you have completed that type of work that you claim to do. You have real photos, real projects that you've done, and not just random photos or worse, stock photos, which you definitely should not be using. So if anyone listening in on this webinar today has stock photos on your website, get them off there now, because you are losing your credibility. And if those photos aren't licensed for your website, you could be opening yourself up to legal ramifications as well. Although I am not an attorney and am not personating one. Something to look into, though. Also, backlinks, credentials, awards, associations, and local mentions of your company can also support your authority. So the more consistent these signals are across all of your entire online presence, the easier it becomes for Google to understand and then trust your business. And so, a practical next step is to strengthen the pages that matter most on your website. And so those could be the services that really stand out for you, the really important ones that you want to be ranking for. You need to go in, add structured data, schema markup to those pages. You need to have FAQ sections, and where possible, really showcase and highlight some project examples of that specific service. And then you can also highlight your credentials, your years of experience, your certifications, your associations, mentions of you across other media sources, or other proof points directly on your website. Make sure genuine customer reviews are collected consistently and displayed in places where both homeowners and search engines can see them. So now let's talk about, how do you create AI friendly content that answers those questions that homeowners have. And so, what I mean by AI friendly content, it's not about stuffing more keywords into a page. It's about answering real questions in a clear manner. Homeowners search because they need help making a decision, right? They need to understand the timelines for a project, the different costs associated, the cost range, the process that your company operates under, your 3-step or 4-step process from consult to design to construction build out, just however you describe your process. It's different for a lot of you, I know. Maybe the materials that are going to be used versus materials that are not going to be used. Most importantly, expectations. We all know how setting the proper expectations is so important to keep everyone on the same page. The different service areas that you serve, the project fit, and then what makes you different from other competitive companies out there, other contractors, other competitors of yours. How do you stand out? What is your unique selling proposition, your USP? The companies that answer those questions well are more likely to become useful sources for both homeowners and search engines alike. And so, a strong approach is to use the answer first, explain later method. And so, what I mean by this is start each important page or section on a page with a clear, concise answer, and then expand upon it with more detail that's going to help them understand that. This makes the content easier for people to scan because it's right there at the front, first sentence. It's also easier for Google AI to understand it because, again, AI and Google's search algorithm, they read that first sentence and they go, boom, this is what this paragraph is about, or this is what this page is about, because that's the first thing right out of the gate. You're trying to capture their attention immediately, whether it's the homeowner or the AI or search engine. And so service pages, FAQ sections, your project guides, your comparison pages, and your educational blogs should all be structured around the questions that homeowners are already asking, the questions you've been getting for years and years and years. You already know what those questions are. Now build pages and all your content around that. And so, for example, a remodeling company could build a content hub around a question like, how long does a kitchen remodel take? And it sounds like, oh, okay, that seems easy. Write a blog post and there you go. But we're talking about building a whole hub here. When you look at this graphic, this is pretty detailed. This is how deep you need to go with your content. And so that topic, it could become a service page section. It could be a blog post. It could be a FAQ answer. It could also be a project example showing how the timeline looked in a real situation. And so the key is to connect all that educational content with proof that backs up that this is really how this plays out in the real world. And so that way, when a homeowner reads an answer, they can also see examples of the completed work. And now that content becomes a lot more persuasive because it really went into detail on that answer and not just hyperbole or just just the generalities of here's our timeline. They actually see real world examples of this and how it really is going to play out when you take on their remodeling project. Next, let's talk about how you optimize your local SEO presence for these AI recommendations. And so local visibility is especially important for remodelers, builders, roofers, and home improvement contractors. Everyone is really going to fall prey to, are you optimizing for Google AI or not? Because in reality, Google AI does not only rely on website content. It's also pulling from your local business data, which includes your Google business profile pages, your map listings, your reviews, your hours, your services, your photos, and your location information, the areas you serve. And so if that information is incomplete or inconsistent, inaccurate, in other words, it can really weaken your ability to show up in those local recommendations. A strong local presence makes it easier for Google to understand where your company works and what services you offer. Your business name, your address, your phone number, your hours, your business categories, all your different service areas, and different website details should all be updated, accurate, and consistent on your Google business profile, but also other directory listings, as well as matching what's on your website too. Now, your Google business profile, it must clearly list all the services you offer, including current photos of those services. And it also has to reflect the kind of projects that you want to attract as well. That seems obvious, right? Reviews should also be responded to immediately and consistently because they're really public trust signals for both homeowners and search engines. Someone left you a review; they took time out of their day to spread the gossip about how good your company is. You need to thank them and acknowledge them for that review. So make sure you're responding to those reviews in a public way that really, works for future homeowners wanting to trust you, but it also works for the search engines as well. They see that, especially Google. It's Google reviews. They're looking at that. Believe me. And so for contractors, local relevance should also show up on the website itself. So service area pages, your different project features, your local blog content, and locally relevant FAQs can help connect your business to the communities that you serve. Now, the goal is to make your local expertise obvious. Google should not have to guess where you work, what you do, or whether your company is active and trustworthy. It should become really obvious from all this content. Like when you look at this image I've put together here, like it kind of shows everything and how it all works together in synergy. So you need to be thinking in terms of the bigger picture. And then after you do all this, after you've set up all your pages and your listings and your Google business profile, all your content's dialed in, after you get all this all really set up and dialed in the way you want, next step is obviously you got to monitor and measure the AI impact of this. We're not doing this for our, just because we have extra time at 10 o'clock at night after the day's come to an end. You really you need to measure your AI impact. What you measure, you can improve. If you're not measuring or really paying attention to this, how do you really know it's working? Besides me, telling you it works. And so AI driven visibility, it can be harder to track than your traditional rankings. Just understand that because not every interaction results in a website click. A homeowner may see a summary, they may compare options, maybe read some review highlights, or even view a map result before deciding what to do next, right? And so that means contractors need to look beyond just traffic alone and pay attention also to the signals that show whether visibility is turning into real opportunity. And that's something we focus on in our company because a lot of marketing companies, they'll talk about all the traffic they're sending, hundreds and thousands of visits. And that sounds great in a meeting, but by now, you guys, builders and remodelers that are all on this webinar, you know that traffic is only one part of the equation. It's a very basic part. It's a crucial part, but it's very basic in the sense that you can have 10,000 visitors to your website, but your phone may never ring. And so you need to find the disconnect then between why you're getting so many visitors and why your phone's not ringing. We really, really focus on ROI. There's nothing more important to me and to you guys as well. I know I'll speak for you if you don't mind. There's nothing more important than ROI, right? It doesn't matter how much traffic you get or how many clicks you get. What matters is ROI. Is your phone ringing? Are you booking more consultations? And is your sales process dialed in enough to where you're actually booking those jobs then? That's what matters. Are you growing revenue or not? Clicks and traffic, we need those, but that's just the first step in the whole equation. You got to look at the whole equation. And so we want to track what matters, and that means getting into your Google Search Console. It means diving into your Google Analytics, looking at your Google Business Profile insights that they provide for you. Local ranking tools can also help show which pages are gaining more impressions, which queries are driving more visibility, and where users are taking more action or pages that they're spending more time on, what we call dwell time. That's in your Google Analytics as well. You can also track whether important questions are being answered clearly on your website and whether those pages are leading to calls, whether they're leading to more form fills, more booked consultations, and just really better fit, more qualified type of inquiries for your company. And a practical way to manage this is kind of to create a simple tracking spreadsheet, really. List each priority question, the page that answers that question, whether that page appears to be gaining visibility, gaining traction in your analytics, whether it supports the clicks and the inquiries that are happening, and then whether that is actually contributing to more qualified leads. Are you getting more leads in, or you getting more qualified leads in? Are you getting calls that say, "Hey, I was on this page and I'm interested in a home addition because this is what I'm thinking." Like that's very specific. That's a qualified lead, not someone that says, "Hey, I want to do a bathroom and I've got like a $5,000 budget." We might call that a lead, but me personally, and I know you on this call, you're probably saying, no, that's not a qualified lead because that budget won't even buy the materials, much less build this project out under your expertise and guidance. So you're really trying to give a clearer picture of what content is working and what needs improvement, and refreshing some of your more important content every to 60 to 90 days or so. That can also help those answers become more accurate, more useful, more aligned with how homeowners are currently searching. So don't sleep on your older content. That's something we do a lot, is repurpose that. Go back and look at older blogs that crappy marketing companies did that were just generic AI written garbage maybe, or just didn't answer the questions that really the homeowners have, and go back and repurpose that content, rewrite it, republish it with our new rules of engagement, our new style of writing helpful content that's not just AI slop out there. One thing you can do too is we've built an AI visibility tool that will help you with this. We built this specifically just to help remodelers, builders, and home improvement contractors out there, to help kind of help you navigate your way through this big paradigm shift that's known as AI, and it's changing the world. Certainly changing search for us and for you guys. And so this home remodeler SEO AI visibility checker, it's meant to help you guys get a starting point for understanding how your company may be showing up in AI search. It can help identify whether your business is being recognized, where that visibility may be weak, and what areas may need stronger content, clearer service information, better local signals, or just more trust building proof. So use it as a starting point, not as your whole, SEO strategy or AI strategy. The goal is to understand where your website and your current online presence stands right now, and then improve the signals that help AI search engines trust and then further recommend your company. So, just go to this short link we created. So we didn't want to have to post a whole link for you. This short link will redirect to a website link that you can trust. It's on our website, and then you can run your website through the AI visibility checker. There's no cost to do it. And then you can see how OpenAI's ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Perplexity, how they really viewing your site, and then things that you can work on to help improve those. We're not just saying, hey, you suck here and you're not good on this one and you're not good on this one either. We're actually going to offer you suggestions that can help improve your AI visibility. So it's a tool meant to help you. And like I said, there's no cost to use it. And then let's also talk about some of the small tweaks that you can make that will make a big difference. Some of the small tweaks that you're probably going to get from this AI visibility tracker tool. And so, not every improvement requires a complete website rebuild. Let's be clear about that. I don't want to scare anyone here. Maybe your website is just so simple. We just hired somebody, or somebody just hired us, I should say. But we just partnered up with somebody, and they had a one-page website. I mean, it's 2026. No one should have a one-page website anymore. So some of those instances, you are going to need to rebuild. There's no doubt about it. Your website is the hub of everything you do. You need to have a really built out, dialed in, super optimized, super helpful website that is going to benefit homeowners, and that AI and search engines are also going to say, wow, this is a website that we want to recommend in our AI previews or in our search results. And sometimes these smaller updates versus like a whole, rebuild can really make your content more clear and more useful, more easily understood for people and for search engines. So short conversational answers at the top of important service pages or pages on your website can both help homeowners and AI systems quickly understand the point of the page, the whole context of your page, in that first sentence that you're kind of presenting an answer to a hypothetical FAQ question. In other words, clear headings, heading tags, simple formatting, internal links to link to other pages that are all related to the same topic. If you got a bathroom remodeling page, one of your internal links on that page should be to a blog post on your website that says, how much does a bathroom remodel cost? And then within that website blog on remodel costs could be another link to another blog that says, what is the process and how long does it take for a bathroom remodel? And so you can see they link together like topics. This is what we call siloing. You build a silo of all topics that are related and link them all together. And then you may eventually circle back and link to a home page or link to your services page. And then you can go down another rabbit hole by going to like say a kitchen remodeling page and then all the pages it links to. So hopefully that's not too technical. And when it comes to internal linking, but it's really important. And then the last thing is having FAQ sections, pop-ups, or just content on your page. These can really make your content easier to navigate and just much more easily understood for homeowners that are looking for the best answers, not just any answer. You want to be the one providing the best answers. That's what's called an expert. You want to be the expert, the credible authority in your market for the services that you offer. And then the ability to skim content briefly matters because homeowners are often making decisions quickly nowadays, right? A page that's hard to read, slow to load, or it's just kind of unclear about the next step can really create friction. Strong content should answer questions. It should reduce uncertainty, and it should guide the visitor toward action, to call on you, to filling out a form, some kind of actionable uh, step that they can take that gets them closer to working with you. And then, of course, mobile performance, mobile accessibility, page speed, simple calls to action, all support that user experience. And that user experience is super important to keep people on your website because it's a good user experience they're having versus a bad user experience. We've all seen the differences, right? I think contractors should also look for opportunities to strengthen credibility on each page. This may include linking to helpful authoritative resources, Could be adding project examples, maybe showing reviews, near that service content type, or including, some of those proof points like years of experience, the certifications you have, the associations you belong to, or those completed project types specific to that type of content to that page. Um, these details also help create a stronger trust signal without making the page feel overly promotional. And so what's next? What step do we need to take next after you get out of this workshop? The fact of the matter is, Google AI is changing how homeowners discover, compare, and choose contractors. Search is no longer about getting a click from a keyword ranking. It is increasingly about becoming the trusted answer before that click even happens. Contractors that want to stay visible, they need content that is clear, structured, authoritative, and locally relevant, and it's supported by real proof. The most important takeaway is that Google AI needs confidence. It needs to understand what your company does, where you work, who you serve, and why your business is credible. That confidence is built through strong service pages, helpful answers, consistent local information, authentic reviews, project proof, and ongoing content improvements. You don't, it's not a set it and forget it with your website. You got to constantly be updating and improving that content, whether it's repurposing old blogs, whether it's updating your website with new content, maybe new project case studies, new reviews, new pictures, all of that. Everything is working in synergy together to give Google the confidence you are the trusted authority in your market. And so the best place to start is with a simple action plan. And this is just a simple kind of four-step plan that I've drawn up for you, so that you can conduct really a top question audit this week. Identify the most important questions your ideal customers are asking before they contact you, and then create or improve one structured FAQ page. Also, review your Google business profile for completeness in terms of that same audit. Take it just one step at a time, one service at a time, maybe one focal point at a time, to make sure that you have accuracy, you have all your services on your Google business profile, you've got reviews, and you've got photos of that exact type of service. And so these steps they may seem small. You may have already done these. You may do these on a regular basis, but stay consistent in them because they really help build a foundation for stronger visibility in an AI-driven search environment. The future of SEO is not just about being found. It is about being trusted enough to be recommended. And that's the big shift now. You used to be just be found. Okay, you've got a bunch of clicks, but now you want to be recommended by AI. We've been doing that for a lot of our clients. They're showing up in the AI search in their area. We use a VPN to log in as if we're in their area. Doesn't matter any part of the country or world. We act like we're in their area. We go to AI and we say, who's the best kitchen remodeler in Rochester, New York, or Austin, Texas, or Indianapolis, Indiana, where it may be. And we want our clients showing up there, and just like they want to be showing up. They've gotten calls from showing up in those AI previews. So it's really important that you really try to work toward getting there, getting into those AI previews, because that's what we're talking about is before the click, before they even go to your website, you may be getting that click already, beating out your competitors just because you were the company that was mentioned in the AI preview. Super important nowadays. And then we'll talk a little bit about AI after lead capture. Before we wrap this up here today, I want to take this just one step further for you. Because Google AI is not just changing how homeowners find remodelers, AI can also change what happens after a homeowner reaches out. So, once someone's interested, the next challenge is turning a rough idea into a clear starting point for you. And what I mean by this is AI is not only useful before the click, it can also help after the homeowner reaches out to try to find and kind of build a scope of project for them, what that project scope is going to kind of look like in basic before you really start diving into the nitty gritty of estimating that project. And this is where a tool like Build Scope comes in. This is another tool that we've built free of charge for people to use it. We've integrated this into AI. You can go to this short link here on the page, and it will redirect to our page for you. BuildScope is basically an AI-powered project planning tool built for remodelers, builders, and home improvement contractors specifically. And so what it can do is it can take rough project notes, a simple project summary of what that project is and some of the specifics of it, or either even some of the early, conversation details that you've had with your customer, and then turn that kind of into a more clear starting point. So these are things you guys are already doing, right? You're already doing this. We're talking about having AI do this for you in a matter of 5 minutes using the Build Scope AI tool. Remodelers they can generate a preliminary scope of work, a ballpark estimate, a rough project timeline, and a feasibility snapshot. So if you don't want to have to charge for this, but you want to be able to convey some of this information without having to spend 10 hours of work on it, use BuildScope to give you a really quick output and deliverable that you can take to your customer. And then you don't have to worry about doing all this working for free, just to, have that consult or that second consult once you really want to kind of go into the scope of the project a little more. And, I'll be the first to say this does not replace professional judgment, doesn't replace site visits, it doesn't replace estimating or your expertise as a contractor, but it can help create a more organized first step for you. So when a homeowner reaches out, they often want to understand, what might be possible, what the project could involve, whether their expectations are even realistic, and then what the next step should be. Build Scope helps turn loose information into something that's a little more structured for you and importantly for your potential customer. It's going to use, U.S. square footages. So the output's going to be, perfect for American contractors and homeowners. If you're watching this, you're from, Canada or another country that uses metrics, you're going to have to make those adjustments from the, U.S. System, which we're the only one in the world that uses, to the metric system, which the entire rest of the world uses. But more than helping remodelers get found, AI should be helping you communicate better, um, help qualify your prospects, your prospective customers a little better, and then really, create that stronger experience once the opportunity does come in. So hopefully, a tool like BuildScope can help get you one step closer to that, signed contract. And so I mentioned that we would have some freebies here for those of you that stayed to the end, and it looks like most everyone here. Really, really happy that you guys stayed on. Shows that you're really interested in learning and trying to get the most of the education that we're putting out there. So I really appreciate that. I've put together some free resources for you guys that attended the webinar today and stayed to the end. A lot of people watch on replay and then you lose out on these resources. I got to say today is probably one of the best day of freebies to help you in your digital marketing journey. We've got 4 different freebies for you that we're going to be sending to you: notes, the workbook, tools to use, things like that. First you're going to get the notes on this webinar in case you need to go back and reference anything. There's also a workbook that I created that will accompany your notes and the webinar. Just kind of goes into a little more detail for you. Then I also created guides that help you with the AI tools that I shared with you, the AI Visibility Checker. I created a guide that kind of shows you how that tool works. And then also the build scope tool that I just talked about with you. I also created a guide on how that tool works and how you can get more out of that tool. The bottom line is we want you to get the most out of these tools, the most out of the education that we're providing. And so these tools were created to do just that for you, just to kind of give you some incentive to use them, to optimize your presence better, and to get better so that you can move your business forward. Um, Let me know if you have any questions on the notes. If you when you download these freebies, or any questions on the workbook, how the tools work, anything like that, just let me know and I can answer those questions for you. You can ping me an email, you can send me a text, Facebook Messenger, whatever. Will help walk you through everything and how to use them and how to interpret those results. So we're here for you in case you have any questions on the freebies and the AI tools that we created for you. And then let me know if you have any other questions. I did see a couple questions come in throughout the webinar, but I know that I answered those specifically in subsequent slides. So if you have any more questions, let me know. I'm happy to stay on here and answer any questions about AI. I know AI is a little overwhelming and this whole thing and this whole shift and how do I do this? Is my marketing company even paying attention to AI? Probably not. There's a lot here to digest and to really try to pack into your brain. So, let me know if you have any questions to follow up on. And then, don't hesitate to reach out as well. We're always here to help. You can email me directly, and I'll respond to any queries or questions that you might have that might help you. If you want us to do an audit and kind of walk you through an audit of your site, your overall digital presence, we're happy to take a deeper dive, look into that as well. And then otherwise, really, really thankful for all the people that showed up today. Thanks for the questions that I saw in the chat. Thank you for the compliments. I've gotten a couple people that had to check out and move on to an appointment now. But thank you for acknowledging the education we're putting out there. Let me know if I can help you in any way. We love having you on these webinars. Love being able to put education out there and just make you guys better in terms of optimizing your overall presence. So let me know also if you guys have any topics that you want me to cover, topics we haven't covered yet, or topics that you may want me to do a deeper dive on. We're happy to do that as well. If there's things out there that you just want to learn more on, happy to educate in that regard. But thank you again, everyone, for showing up, for being present here, for just being one of those business owners that is really, really working hard to take their business to the next level. I love working with folks like that. So I really appreciate your presence here today. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next webinar next month. Take care, everyone. We'll see you.